students on this side of the country, but they were not in court today.
I do want to touch on the new information in terms of DNA that you mentioned that we're seeing in this affidavit today. There was a knife sheath that was found next to Maddie Mogen's body on the bed, a quote tan leather knife sheath processed by the...
What's up, guys? True Crime King back. Alright, so it seems that over the months since the gag order has been in place, and these crazy creators are making all these outrageous claims, it seems that more and more of you are starting to forget all the evidence against Kohberger. Forget that there is a gag order. Forget that the FBI and the U.S. Marshals were on this case, okay? The best of the best. I think the FBI, especially when they go for the death penalty, their rate of success is just, it'll blow your mind. You can look it up for yourself. Don't take it from me. Go look it up for yourself, okay? Go look up how many cases, when the FBI is involved, or the U.S. Marshals, how many cases that they have been in that have turned out to be the wrong person. It's probably close to zero, okay? If you guys out there think that Bryan Kohberger, the white elantra that the police were after, if you guys don't believe that that was Bryan Kohberger, and you don't believe that that was his car, then you believe that he's innocent, right? So I'm going to make a video and take you back, even though I've already went over this on several videos before. I just want to refresh some of your guys' memories, okay? So we're going to go over the affidavit, okay? All of the evidence that we know, because obviously we don't know all of it, because I'm not gonna, there's a gag order, guys. So just because some clowns out there keep saying that Kohberger is innocent, and saying that other people did this, when there's not one shred of any evidence that points to anybody else having anything to do with this. There's not, if anybody has one piece of evidence that supports anybody in the world doing this other than Bryan Kohberger, please comment below. If you do not have any piece of evidence, and I'm talking evidence, not a theory, okay? Not some outlandish theory, okay? I'm talking evidence that they actually have on Kohberger, okay? And let me remind you guys, they are seeking the death penalty for Kohberger, okay? They're not trying to offer him a deal, okay, like they do for a lot of killers. They offer deals. No. When they go for the death penalty, that means that the prosecutor knows they have enough evidence to charge them, win the case, okay? And there is, in a death penalty case, there's the highest burden of proof that you have, like in second-degree murder, it just keeps going down. Manslaughter, it keeps going down. In a death penalty case, you better have the right guy, okay? So, let's just go over this, because it seems like all of a sudden, you guys are changing their minds, right? Some of you were when your mind was fresh and you months ago were seeing all this evidence, and you were like, oh, Kohberger, yeah. And then now some of you are like changing your minds. It's just, what evidence do you have to say anything other than guilty? You don't have any, because there is no evidence for anybody else. It's just ridiculous, in my opinion. So instead of commenting on a post, okay, I want you guys to comment on this, and when I'm actually presenting the evidence to you, okay? So anybody that still believes the white elantra was not Kohbergers, yes, there was 22,000 of them. They found the elantra, okay? They found it. Because they're not looking for one anymore, okay? Because it was at Kohberger's house, okay? We're going to go over all this. Here we go.
Lab has USMC, United States Marine Corps, Eagle Lobe, anchor insignia, stamped on the outside. And the lab in Idaho was able to locate a single source of male DNA on the...
A single source of male DNA, guys. Not 3 sources, not 2 sources. A single source of male DNA on the button sheath on the knife. On the knife anywhere. There's only one DNA on that knife sheath, and that's Bryan Kohberger's, okay? Of course there's going to be DNA in the house. It's a party house. Give me a break, guys. On the actual murder weapon, there's a single source of male DNA, which now they know, because of the cheek swab, not touch DNA, it's 100% Bryan Kohberger's DNA. Okay? So let's get this straight. Okay?
The button snap of that knife sheath. And then, interestingly, we also see that on December 27th, they do take trash from the Kohberger family home in Pennsylvania. Can you talk a little bit more about this? By the next day, by the 28th, the Idaho lab is beginning to piece together those 2 pieces of DNA. Is that right?
Yeah, so it sounds like, and remember, this isn't all the evidence they have. This is just what they wanted to present to justify the arrest. So,
yeah, and this evidence in the affidavit, just like he said, isn't even all the evidence they have against Kohberger. They don't need to, all they need to do is just present enough evidence in this affidavit to move forward with the arrest. That's all. They have, who knows what else they have, because there is a gag order, people. There's a gag order. They can't talk about it. So there's no evidence coming out. There's no more evidence coming out.
Sounds like the car was the initial connection. It was, from what I read, and again, I'm going to read it like 3 more times closely. Sure. But it was an officer in Washington State who, they were looking for this white Hyundai who spotted the car. Okay, so that was the initial connection, the car, and then
that was the initial connection, the car, and so real quick, I want to talk about this car for a second. They know it was Bryan Kohberger's car, guys, because they lined up his cell phone records with the car. Okay? Yes, there was 22,000 other cars. But there wasn't 22,000 other cars that had Bryan Kohberger's cell phone in them. Okay? He came back to the crime scene the next morning with his cell phone on. They tracked it. I mean, guys.
Ended up, they started surveilling Kohberger, figuring out who he was, and then the DNA came into play. He gets back to Pennsylvania. They get DNA from the trash, like you said, send it back to Idaho to the crime lab, and that's how they connect that piece of the puzzle. But the cell phone, I mean, we can't forget about the cell phone. I mean, a lot of this is cell phone stuff. And I know I tweeted out the link, and it's on newsnationnow.com. Like, if you read through, I mean, there's maps. This is like I'm not sure I've seen like this reminds me of like a federal probable cause. Like, I've never seen a state level probable cause this detailed. I mean, it is insanely detailed. There are pictures and maps, and on top of the DNA.
Yeah. Look, they have his movements down to a science that night. Okay, let's read some of this. Oh no, on November 25th, 2022, MPD asked area law enforcement agents to be on the lookout for white Hyundai Elantras in the area. On November 29th, at approximately 12:28 a.m., Washington State University police officer Daniel Tiango queried white Elantras registered at WSU. As a result, he located a 2015 white Elantra with a Pennsylvania license plate LFZ 8649. This vehicle was registered to Bryan Kohberger, residing at 1630 Northeast Valley Road, apartment 201, Pullman, Washington. Okay, 1630 Valley Road is approximately 3/4 of a mile from the intersection of Stadium Way and Cougar Way, the last camera location that picked up the white Elantra. That same day, at approximately 12:58, WSU officer Chris Whitman was looking for a white Hyundai Elantras and located a 2015 white Hyundai Elantra at 1630 Northeast Valley Road in Pullman, in the Pullman parking lot.
They have been tracing him through his cell phone,
Right.
and not only the night of the murders.
Students. Officer Withers also ran the car and it returned to Kohberger with a Washington tag. I reviewed Kohberger's Washington State driver's license information and photograph. This license indicates that Kohberger is a white male with a height of 6 foot and weighs 185 pounds. Additionally, the photograph of Kohberger shows that he has bushy eyebrows. Hello. Because Dylan, we're going to get into it. Everybody that commented, comment again, okay, on this one. And I want you to tell me what's wrong with this. What's your evidence for something else? Why don't... I mean, you can't argue with the evidence. The evidence is the evidence, right? So I want you guys that don't think this was his car, right? Don't think Kohberger is innocent or is guilty, to comment and tell me why you think that, okay? And tell me, you know, what is your evidence that supports that theory, okay? Evidence. If you just have a theory with no evidence, then I just, you know, it's... Okay, I have a theory that there's aliens on Pluto swimming in the ocean with pigs. Okay, but I don't have any evidence of that, right? I have evidence that Kohberger committed these murders, alright? Hello? But anyway, okay, Kohberger's physical description is consistent with the description of the male Dylan Mortensen saw inside the King Road residence on November 13th. Further investigation, including a review of Latah County Sheriff's Deputy Corporal Duke's body cam and reports, showed that on August 21st, 2022, Bryan Kohberger was detained as part of a traffic stop that occurred in Moscow, Idaho. At the time, Kohberger, who was the sole occupant, was driving a white 2015 Hyundai Elantra with Pennsylvania tags, the same tags, which was set to expire November 30th, 2022. During the stop, which was recorded via a law enforcement body camera, Kohberger provided his phone number as blank 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 8458. Hereafter, the 8458 phone as his cell phone number. Investigators conducted electronic database inquiries and learned that Kohberger's phone number issued by AT&T. On October 14th, 2022, Kohberger was detained as part of a traffic stop. Upon boarding his patrol occupant, according to license plate. Let's see here. Prior to this time, the 2015 white Hyundai Elantra was registered in Pennsylvania, which does not require a front license plate to be displayed. This was learned through communication. So in Pennsylvania, you don't have to have a front license plate, but in Utah or Idaho, you do. So they do.
And the morning after, which is super creepy, that the cell phone was back there in the morning.
Right.
But 12 times, they say that he was in the area of the house 12 times before the murders, which would go back to this stalking.
Okay, guys. They have proof from Bryan Kohberger's cell phone. He was in the area 12 times before the murders. This came from the affidavit. His cell phone. Who else would have Bryan Kohberger's cell phone? Nobody. Bryan Kohberger was in the area at least 12 times before the murders. Stalker. Okay? Hello? Like, I guess some of you guys just didn't know any of this, didn't do your research, okay? That's why True Crime King is here, okay? I give you the facts. I have not wavered from my opinion and once at all, because I do my research, okay? I don't just come up with an opinion and put out clickbait like some other clowns do, okay? I take this seriously, okay? Alright, let's see what else they got here.
Theory, was it planned? Was he looking at the house? So, I mean, it's all in here.
And I was struck by on page 12, they are talking about this phone connected with him, that the phone was not using the cell tower close to the murder scene between 3 and 5 in the morning. They do state that, but then they also, very quickly point out.
Yeah, because he turned it off. He turned it off while he was going towards to commit the murders. And then magically, his phone appears. It comes back on. I don't want to put any words in the mouth. I don't want to say anything wrong, but it was like a half hour later, I believe. But we'll see.
That a cell phone can either be at a different location while someone is committing a crime, and we're looking at page 12. I think we have it up right now. Either a cell phone can be left at a different location while a crime is being committed, or someone can turn off their phone prior to going to a location. But yeah. Very interesting, as you said, Brian, that the car is seen in an area, no license plate, that a white sedan seen in that area, during the hours of the murder, of the suspected hours of where the murder takes place, and then that car is seen going on a road that eventually leads to Washington.
So real quick, okay, let's see. Based on my training experience and conversations with law enforcement officers that specialize in the utilization of cell phone, telephone records as part of investigation, individuals can either leave their cellular telephone at a different location before committing a crime, or turn their cell phone off prior to going to a location to commit a crime. Hello? If you're smart, you probably wouldn't take or have your cell phone on if you're going to commit a murder, right? So that makes perfect sense, right? Doesn't it, guys? Doesn't that make sense? Okay. This is done by subjects in an effort to avoid alerting law enforcement that a cellular device associated with them was in a particular area where a crime was committed. Hello. I also know that on numerous occasions, subjects will surveil an area where they intend to commit a crime prior to the date of the crime. Hence, Kohberger cell phone was around King Road 12 times. At least. Okay? 12 times at least. At least. I'm gonna make true crime great again. I also know that on numerous occasions, subjects will surveil an area. Okay, depending on the circumstances, this could be done a few days before or several months prior to the commission of a crime. During these types of surveillance, it is possible that an individual would not leave their cellular telephone at a separate location or turn it off, since they do not plan to commit the offense on that particular day. So he's saying Bryan Kohberger didn't turn his cell phone off the other 12 times because he wasn't going to commit the murders that day. Okay? Hello? In the end, he never thought he was going to get caught before the murder. He didn't think he was going to get caught. So he turned it off the day of. Okay, come on, guys. This is. On December 23rd, 2022, I applied for and was granted a search warrant for historical phone records between November 12th, 2022 at 12 a.m. and November 14th at 12 a.m. for Kohberger's cell phone by AT&T. I received records for his Kohberger's phone from AT&T. Those records indicated that the 8458 phone is subscribed to Bryan Kohberger at an address in Albrightsville, Pennsylvania. That's his parents' house.
Pullman, Washington. So very, very interesting, Bryan, and absolutely chilling that the phone then pings in that area the following morning.
Yeah, that is chilling. That Kohberger's phone pings right at the King Road house at 9 o'clock the next morning. Hello. And that, maybe Dylan was scared because Bryan Kohberger did come back to the area. Maybe who knows, maybe he said something to her, said that he'll be around. If you call the cops, I'm going to kill you. Who knows? We don't know because there's a gag order. Okay? That's why we don't know all this. The police, they know all this information. Okay? They know all this. But, we're getting a little, we're over 20 minutes now. I don't know. I'll do a part 2 if you guys still still have questions. If you want me to do something else, I'll do another part. If you need more evidence, let me know. If I get enough likes on this video, then I will make a part 2 explaining more reasons why Kohberger is guilty, if you guys need more clarification. Okay? I know that it's been a long couple months. I know that it gets boring without any new evidence coming in, but that's just how it is because of the gag order. Okay? I could go on for hours talking about all this evidence. Okay? It just takes forever to upload. But all you guys that were commenting in my post, I don't like drama, but you know, I want you guys to. I hope I answered your questions. Okay, if I didn't, then I still would like you to comment with your evidence on who did the murders, if Bryan Kohberger didn't. But if you don't have any evidence, then hello. I mean, I don't know what, I don't know what else you're doing, right? But anyway, Kohberger's guilty, in my opinion, 100%. That's why they're going after the death penalty, and that's why everything I just said is the evidence. Okay? So I hope this helps some of you if you were on the fence. If you still don't think he's guilty, then you're never going to. It's as simple as that. Until maybe even after he's found guilty in a court of law, there's going to be some of you that still think he's innocent. So, I know that I can't convince everybody, because there's people that think the Earth is flat still, But anyway, have a great day, guys. There's a hurricane coming around here. It's raining. It's windy. So I'm hunkering in. But anyway, True Crime King out.